Hey, good evening, guys. Big congrats. Today was a big day. Very, very big day. Unfortunately, we'll just start with it. I mean, it's going to be talked about because it happens. Got squeezed out of IWM. Right? It is what it is. I told you guys, though, that I was pretty much just taking this just for this window of weakness play. If the market were to sell underneath this trend line here, remember we're targeting like 212. And then I was going to use this general area here that's highlighted as like an area to pick up the longs that probably got knocked down with the rest of the market, i.e. MU, crowd would have been a big one. But as you guys know, Trump won last night and the market just went absolutely absurd. And I ended up having around a 5K loss on this one. So it kind of sucks. It's not easy to obviously have that happen. But I planned for that, right? And the reason I'm okay is because I was heavier in MU and I was heavier in crowd. The swings that I was telling everyone I was adding into. I wish I would have added a little bit more. I never got like fresh ads on them. As you guys know, I was pretty transparent. I had 48 contracts of MU. I wish I would have gotten to like 100, but it just felt super risky to have that much size going into an event like that. Crowd, I had like 16, I think, 16 or 18. Or no, I had less than that. I think I was like eight. What am I saying? Eight or nine. But those are more expensive contracts. And then obviously Intel is still kind of doing well. I had Tesla, which we'll cover. But IWM, yes, gapped up. Nice hammer candle off basically the highs up here. So, I mean, unless something crazy happens with FOMC tomorrow where they literally hike rates or do anything other than an expected pause, I think this will close really strong, right? So it is what it is. I mean, I held those. I'm down 96%. There's no real reason to take profits on those just because they'll probably expire worthless. Or not take profits, but you guys understand, right? Just like close them because they're basically zero. I'll just let them expire worthless. But really good move today. I mean, the whole market went crazy. I don't know how nobody, if you didn't make money, I don't really know how. As long as you just had longs and weren't too heavy in the short, that was there to mitigate against the window weakness. But yeah, this had a nice breakout today. Obviously, it broke through that 108.78 level, which was this old support here, back here. Became a lower high, right? Obviously, it got a little choppy in this general range, but you got to think it also broke under, had a lower high against that spot. This is the spot in my opinion, right? Or you can I guess you can argue and say it was like maybe here, in which case we're already above that. That was essentially today's low. Okay. Now, all I'm really thinking about is if this can just give me one more pullback, whether that comes off of 106.77 or if we just pull this back out again. I guess we could just do this. Right? If we just take it off like this area here, just one more pullback, like 108.78, I would be willing to add some more contracts. It's that simple. But this chart looks super good for another continuation. Some people are saying they see like a head and shoulders here, which I don't know. It's valid, right? I'm not going to argue against it, but I just think this thing has good momentum. Good harmonic breakout today. This whole area, pretty much low volume, right? So once you get a high volume break like that, it's just dependent if we see a high volume sell and if it can be, consistent with the other breakouts that we've had here. So really interested to see how this one plays out. On top of that, I mean, let's just talk about some of the other stuff. And if we were to get the pullback, guys, I'll probably once again roll, right? I'll obviously keep my January contracts, but if we can pull back down to this gap here, or maybe kind of just hold this we'll do like a zone, right? So I think this is probably the best thing to have, like something like this. And what we'll do is we'll make this green. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of a cough. We'll do something like this, right? And then what we'll have is like, I think I had this before, right? Just kind of this broad range, okay? And that's where I'll add a pullback. If I do that, I'll probably add into like Junes, right? Junes or something like that. Just go back to the 130 calls. Um, But yeah, this one had a really good move today. I was up almost 10 grand on this. So if this continues, I mean, you got to think about it. We still have 15 more points. So this could be absolutely massive. I think I was up like 60, 70%. So this could be over a 200%, 300% win, just depending how quickly it does this. Crowd, really nice move as well, just to kind of cover this one. Big pop off of this higher low trend line. Remember, it didn't have to be perfect, just the weekly wicking underneath that old high. So still behaved rather well. And what did we do? We gapped above the gap here, right? And we held. And this was very, very, very important. You guys can see we're basically just flagging above 316.75. Exactly what I wanted. Now I would just love to have another day where we pop out. through today's highs and just have this big, I would say I would be looking for an engulfing, like a bullish engulfing bar just to kind of push through this. But even if it pulls back, right, if it pulls back, I still think this is healthy. We're making progress on the chart. So if we pull back to 308.89, might be worth some more adds and then continue to risk down here. It would be a decent risk to reward, right? So if you kind of do this, you can maybe get new ads on this if you haven't gotten it already. It's about a 3R, so yeah, that would be a good one. But overall, this one looks good. I would just expect this to kind of hold here, maybe a little bit longer. If it sells from FOMC, take that, and then look for the push, reclaim, and then obviously if we're looking for this to go to 342, 350 still. This target up here, I mean, it's still valid too. This could go 370, guys. I mean, it might be worth holding a couple contracts. But this chart looks really good. I've been saying it, guys. These are the two charts, and literally my payday was today. I'm still holding them. I don't have any reason to, like, take full positions off. So, this is, yeah, excellent. Just let them ride. Intel, what did we get today? So this is where we're not going to train. Oh, sorry, let's do one thing real quick. Tesla, I only had 3 calls of the 1220 300, right? Remember we bought them like way back here, somewhere in this range. I think it was back here on this flag, if I'm not wrong. And I've just been holding them, right? And then even through this big pop here, I still held them. Wish I would have added, this was part of that scan that we did, where we were looking for it to pull back. And I talked about this, I remember it very vividly, the double gap here, where we have the peg gap, but we also had the bear gap down here. And it looks like it baited it down, closed above. I should have added into this. Once again, it was kind of risky going into the elections. Like, if Kamala won, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of these names would have gotten destroyed. Like Coin, right? Coin had a huge move. Obviously, that's because Trump won. Tesla, Elon was a big proponent of that, or a big reasoning, in my opinion, for, I don't want to say the win, but you guys kind of know his administration, or not his administration, but his company will do very well under Trump's administration. But yeah, huge pop here. It literally opened right here, right at 284. Those contracts were like 1,600 a piece, which is pretty good, right? Considering we took them at like what, five, something like that. So I made like 3,000-4,000 off this one. Closed this one out here. I think I got the top, right? I think because it opened and then it sold down and then it started to push. I'm pretty sure I pushed it. I got it as it was pushing back up. So like 288 something. You guys can go check. I mean, I got 16 point fills, so not bad. But let's talk about new stuff. Intel here, really good chart. I've talked time and time again about this one, just how I've been taking ads off 2198. Really good earnings report. Really good. If you guys listened to the call, but it didn't really result in a big gap up like we thought. Remember, it sold off, but it just kind of still held above 2198. So I held the calls, and today we had a nice move above 2459, which is exactly what we wanted. Now we're just looking for a close above this spot here and a retest. So maybe we get some separation against this. So something like that. Looking for the pullback. And then once again, I'm going to add into these contracts. This chart is so good, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. This is when you got to start striking when the iron's hot. If you think about policy as well, right? What is Trump trying to do to a lot of the semiconductors, right? They're trying to stop Taiwan having this grip on everything. Intel is American made, right? Intel is going to do very well. Lam Research is also up there as well. So that's why I've been watching these two. So I mean, Intel should be very prosperous under a Trump administration. So, and we talked about time about this too. The tax harvest trade is back up near 30. So, if this can give us some kind of pullback here, I might add again, if I'm being honest, guys, into some fresh cons. I still have the current ones from June, right? So look, and I have shares, so I have two things here. I'll probably close the contracts and hold the shares once we get to 29. But yeah, just looking for a pullback, whether that comes into like maybe like an hourly flag, just something, right? Because right now we broke out, but we never pulled back here. So if we can pull back and just have some kind of divergence, this is going to be a perfect opportunity on Intel. So keep this one high on your watch list. Next is Roku. Right, maybe tomorrow, and it doesn't have to happen, guys, but Roku here, super simple. I've talked about this one. This is the footprint candle, so this will be our stop loss. That's why I had that little white line. But you guys can see clearly kind of just basically came down. I think it filled the last remaining gap to the downside here. Went a little bit lower. Remember, I tried to long shares up here, but it went a little bit lower, filled the last gap, and it's been trading up. Now, all I want to see now is it base the top of the earnings candle high. We've talked time and time about this one. So if this can just pull back, hold here, maybe chop around. I don't know how long it'll take. I want to take calls and I'll risk down here. I'll get obviously a swing trade. And I think short-term vision would be 76, right? But we're looking for this to break through this resistance here. Remember, this level has been absorbed now from this old gap. We had an absorption here, absorption here. Look how much absorption occurred. So this is now a path of least resistance trade. So maybe we get something where we just rip through, maybe pull down to the top of the gap here. Maybe we pull like the top of that. We're just looking for this to trade at 91. And I think it can happen really quick. So Roku has to be back on the menu, especially if we get that pullback. So set alerts at 68.75. And we're just looking for a higher low. I mean, it doesn't even have to be off 68.75, guys. Just some kind of higher low. And I'm going to continue to add into this as long as 68.75 is held. And then obviously if it starts to trickle down, risk for me is like 60, right? So selective ads as it's making its way down. If I'm in drawdown, I'm not going to just add as it's coming down. I'm going to be selective. You know, ideally maybe another higher low would be here before it ends up selling down all the way to risk. But yeah, this has got to be on watch. I've talked about Roku a lot. I'm sad I kind of stopped out of my shares, but I was trying to be smart with it because I had 1,000 shares, if you guys didn't know. But yeah, this is going to be a big one. Definitely keep this on watch, please. This and Intel are huge. And then last but not least, let's get rid of BA. BA is not really behaving well. Lam Research, we already have that, so I'm not too worried about adding to that one. Another good one that we have to look at, in my opinion, is Shop. Shop looks super good, guys. Literally what we've been talking about here for a long time. Just this pullback. Remember, I thought it was back here that we'd get this, where we'd pull back and basically fill this. And it's kind of like similar to Roku, right, where we had this old gap back here. You guys can see, right, this old gap got filled. It kind of made a higher low, and then it ripped. Had this ton of consolidation here at the highs. And then this should rip again. But really, it kind of broke trend here. We were selling down a little bit, albeit diverging volume. But we had a breakout today. I would expect this to kind of continue through 83.49 and up into 90. I'm looking to potentially position myself with some contracts that lead into earnings. I know it's a little bit risky. We got like 6 days, I believe. It'll be 7 days now. But, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. But what am I saying? Oh, no, it's 6 days. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah. So, next Tuesday is the date. So I might go a little bit lighter than normal, but because there is potential here that they miss, right? And it sells all the way down and ruins all this progress. But I think this one's good. So I'll probably take a couple cons, like 5, and try to finish this out up to 90. So, but this chart looks really good, right? If there wasn't earnings, I would definitely size into this trade 100%. And then last one, I think, is going to be either Roblox, right? Remember, we've talked so much about Roblox and this massive spot up here. I'm sad I closed this one early, but this is, once again, a Wyckoff accumulation chart. We finally got the breakout. You guys remember when I was drawing this, right? And I talked to you guys about how the footprint candle was that Hindenburg report, which was back here, right? Where somebody got in. And you guys take a look. I mean, it kind of like it was teetering off this higher low. And look at the rip here. So I think over 52.93 here, which is this old lower high kind of spot. I mean, I think this chart has room to absolutely rip through 53.23. I think this goes to 56, and then it has, honestly, a clean pathway up to 66. This chart needs to be a focus because it's going to trade and basically do a huge move, right? I mean, this is already starting its big move, but once we can get through these highs here, I mean, this whole area has been accumulated, guys. This whole area. It's not going to just stop, right? So if you can get enough time, it's going to end up going all the way to 66. So this one's going to be on watch as well. And if you guys don't want to look at this one, I know a lot of you guys like coin, man. You guys are all obsessed with coin. I get it. You could chase the highs. I don't know. You guys can chase the highs if you'd like. I have no other way of like really putting that. It's a really risky chart. I was kind of looking at MSTR. But that's not set up how I would like either. I was looking at Mara. This could be something here, but these contracts have been moving like absolute shit. You can maybe take like Mara on a pullback here, like if it can maybe pull back to this level here, and then you look for a continuation up towards this old progression gap, which is this little gray line. I was trying to look at Riot, guys. I don't know, man. A lot of these just, I don't know. I don't like crypto names, guys. So I'm sorry. I would rather trade Roblox, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. So to re-emphasize, you need to go back and watch and re-look at what I said in the levels. Just do that. But the main focus is here for ads and everything like that. And new positions are going to be Intel, Roku, Shop, Roblox, right? Very, very, I guess if you'd say growth heavy, all these names are in Cathie Wood's ARK right? You guys remember kind of talking about that theme. It should take off now, honestly. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. And I can show these charts one more time. Chop, I think, goes to 90. Uh, Probably continuation through the highs. That's gonna be lighter size though because I have earnings on the 12th. Roblox would look for either a pullback to 47 and hold, or it looks like it's going to continue, or a continuation through 53.23, right? And I think this goes to 56. I'd be willing to swing into 66, right? This is going to be a swing trade for me, so I'd probably be looking at, I don't know, we'll have to look at cons, but I'm going to be targeting like 66 to 70 calls, okay? And then last but not least would be shop here. If we can pull back and hold 68, I think this is the most attractive risk reward chart. With plenty of upside still, a lot of reward here on an easy chart, right? I think this is easy. I would be looking at the 90 calls. Still 32% left on this guy. And once again, Intel just rolls looking for 30 if it can pull back. So that's all, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys bright and early. This is how it is, man. This has been really nice. If you honestly, guys, if you guys ask me, like we're having charts and we can sit and just wait for a couple days, couple weeks. It's not super stressful. And then once they end up hitting target, right, or they break old levels, just roll and just wait again, right? And then as names drop off, right, names start to hit targets, you just take them off. Tesla, what else? I just deleted one here. I don't remember what it was, but as names just fall off, just remove them and look for new ones, right? And it's super simple. So that's all I've been doing, just cycling names in and out, and that should take us there, man. This should take us to the end of the year. So I'm really excited. Window of weakness closes this week, just as long as FOMC doesn't really mess things up, or if things do get messed up and they sell, they just got to hold levels, right? Like Roku, for example. So really excited, yeah, to kind of get things going. I think we're going to have a crazy end of year. So see you guys tomorrow.